We continue now at the top of Daf Tesam Aleph in Maseches Sanhedrin. This is Sanhedrin Daf 9a. The Gemara is continuing with Rav Ashi's explanation of what is the Machlokas Tanoim between Rabbi Meir and the Chachamim in the Mishnah with regards to Motzi Shemra. Again, Rabbi Meir says 3 judges are required, and the Chachamim say 23 judges. And Rav Ashi now explains the case in the Mishnah is Da Asru Ba Malkus V'lo Asru Ba Ketala. They gave her a warning that she was going to get lashes. They did not give her a warning that she was going to get the death penalty. V'kamifla Give Rabbi Yishmael v'Rabbanan, and the machlokas in the Mishnah is the same machlokas that we find between Rabbi Yishmael and the Rabbanan. The Tanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, makos b'shlosha, when you have cases involving lashes, that's with 3 judges. Mishum Rabbi Yishmael amru, but in the name of Rabbi Yishmael they say b'esrim u'shlosha, it's with 23 judges, and that again is the machlokas in our Mishnah as well. Rashi explains da'asru bei malchus v'lo asru bei katala. They gave a warning for lashes and not for the death penalty. Ta'havadai lo miktala, certainly there's not going to be a death penalty. Elaloka, it's going to be lashes. De'in lach misas bezdin shelo nemar bolav. Now you don't have any case of a misas bezdin without a negative commandment, so it also could include a punishment of lashes. V'kasavar lav shenitin lazharas misas bezdin lokan olav. And so we hold that if you have a lav, a negative commandment that's used for a warning for misas bezdin, but you could get malchus ki asur b'malchus v'lo katala, if it's a situation where the warning was given for malchus instead of the warning given for the death penalty. And so that's exactly the case over here. And again, the question is how many judges are required. Mishum Rabbi Yishmael amru be'esrim u'shlosha. In the name of Rabbi Yishmael, they say that that's 23 judges for a case of malchus, and that time mefarish l'kamon. Rashi says the reason for that will be explained later on. And the Gemara continues with another explanation of the machlokas tanoim in the Mishnah. Ravina Amar Ravina says kegon shenimtza echad min ha'edim karovo pasul. The case over here is that one of the witnesses that's coming forward turns out to be a relative or a disqualified witness. The kamifl give it pluksa the Rabbi Yossi v'Rabbi, and the machlokas in the Mishnah is the same machlokas that we're about to see between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Alibud Rabbi Akiva, according to the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. And Rashi here explains echad min ha'edim v'hayu sham shlosha o arba. The case over here is there were more witnesses than necessary. There were 3 or 4 witnesses. Sheyachola eidos leskayim b'shar. So in theory, the testimony can still go forward with the remaining witnesses, because all you need is 2 witnesses. But yet there's a machlokus within the sheet of Rabbi Akiva in such a case. That machlokus is between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi, as we are about to see, and that is the same machlokus that is in our Mishnah. As the Gemara now explains, the Tanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Rabbi Akiva says, Lo ba shlishi ela lahachmir olav. That third witness, he's only coming that we're being strict on him. La'asos dino kayotze ba'elu, that his din, his judgment will be the same as the other witnesses. And therefore we can understand the following lesson. If the Torah punishes somebody who's accompanying Ovrei Avera as if he committed the Avera, so certainly there will be a reward for somebody who accompanies others doing a mitzvah, like the person doing the mitzvah himself. All this will be explained by Rashi. And Rabbi Akiva continues, this is our case. When you have 2 witnesses, just like when you have 2 witnesses, if one of them is a relative or is disqualified, a dusan betela, so you have to throw out the entire testimony, it's all nullified. Af shlosha nimtza echad me'en karov apostle, a dusan betela. So too, if you have 3 witnesses, if one of them is found to be a relative or disqualified, that edus is batel, it's nullified, it's thrown out. And that's why in this case, again over here, Rabbi Akiva would seemingly be saying that if one of them is disqualified, the entire thing gets thrown out. But again, we're going to see a machlokas Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi within this shita in a moment. Uminayin shafi lumei, Rabbi Akiva continues, how do we know that's true even if there's 100 witnesses, that you throw it all out if one of them is disqualified? Talmud lomar edim, that we learn from the pasuk when it uses the word edim. And here we have the machlokas within this shita of Rabbi Akiva between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi. Amar Rabbi Yossi says, B'amed devar mamur, when is all of this true? B'dinei nefashos, that's true in capital cases. That's when we say we throw out the whole testimony. Aval b'dinei mamanis teskayim edus b'shar, but if it would just be a monetary case, that case can go forward with the remaining witnesses. Rabbi Omer, but Rabbi says, echad dinei mamanis ve'echad dinei nefashos, whether we're talking about dinei mamanis or dinei nefashos, that is going to be true. And furthermore, ve'emasayin, when is it true? Bezman shehisru behen, that's if they gave the warning. Aval bezman shelo hisru behen, but if it's a situation where they did not give the warning. And Rashi explains, this is within Rabbi Akiva, lo ba shlishi, that third witness is coming lahachmir olav, to be strict on him. And what that means to say is as follows. follows, once it says 2 witnesses is what you need, so for sure 3 witnesses is enough. The question that Rabbi Akiva is dealing with is, why does the pasuk need to say 2 or 3 witnesses? Obviously 3 witnesses is good, if 2 witnesses is good. The reason why that case of 3 witnesses is mentioned is to be strict on that 3rd witness. Let's say you had 3 witnesses, you didn't even need the 3rd witness. So even though the 3rd witness wasn't needed to put this person to death, the 2 alone would have been enough. Nevertheless, if they are falsified, that 3rd witness is going to be punished like the other 2 witnesses. That if there's a falsification of the witnesses, that 3rd one will be killed, because he accompanied those who were doing the Aveira of being false witnesses. In this case, of course, by Edom Zomim, and they get the punishment of Kasher Zomim. If they try to kill somebody through their testimony in court, then they will be killed. And Rabbi Akiva is saying that applies to the extra witness, the 3rd witness, or the extra witnesses as well. And then he says that's certainly true then by a reward, that a person who accompanies someone doing a mitzvah will get rewarded. Because we've established that the good midah is greater than the midah of punishment. Hilkach kal v'chomer, therefore it's a kal v'chomer, that certainly you'll be rewarded. And so then we saw the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi said, when do we say that the edus is nullified? B'dinei nefashos, that's by capital cases. The pasuk says v'hitzilu, you try to save the defendant. You have to look for merit, you have to try to annul the testimony. That way he won't be killed, and they won't be killed. So by dinei nefashos, Rabbi Yossi is saying, if one of them is disqualified, you throw out the whole case. That's why Rabbi Yossi would say that you don't require 23 judges in such a situation. You only require 3 judges, because we've thrown out the dinei nefashos. But then we have Rebbe's explanation. Rebbe says, or Rebbe's opinion, Rebbe says, at first Rebbe says it's true by both dinei mamanis and dinei nefashos that we nullify the testimony if even one of them is disqualified. However, Rebbe puts a qualification. But when do we say by dinei nefashos? When do we say by capital cases that we throw out their testimony? Not all the time. We say it bisman shehisra. We only say it if they gave the warning, meaning if they were part of the warning to the defendant. Hakarov apostle ba'ovrei avera shagilu daitam shafheim nasim edim, meaning they were there at the time he committed the crime, and this person who's a disqualified witness, he also was part of giving this defendant the warning. And so in that case, therefore we compare 3 witnesses to 2 witnesses to say that it's nullified. If there's a relative or a disqualified witness. But says Rebbe, if that person who was a relative or disqualified never even issued the warning, they were just quiet, and the only witnesses that issued the warning were the kosher witnesses, so then that disqualified witness is not part of the group of witnesses, not considered a witness. And therefore the testimony can go forward with the rest, and therefore Rebbe would say that this case does go forward as dinei nefashos, and that's why 23 judges are required. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Tes Amud Beis.